be explaining inequalities and how to graph them on a number line. We will be starting from simple examples and all the way to complex inequalities and how to solve them. Let's start off with a simple inequality. X is less than or equal to 3. This is quite a simple inequality compared to algebra terms. So before I continue on with this inequality, what is an inequality? An inequality is a non-equal comparison between two mathematical terms, whether if it's a variable or whether if it's a number. So we have a variable and a number today in our inequality, and I'm going to show you how to graph them on a number line. So any number line goes from 0. Let's do 1, 2, 3, and then let's do -1, -2, -3. Let's do another -4 as well, because we're going to be graphing mainly on the negative side today. So it's x is less than or equal to 3. Whenever you find this less than or equal to, or even greater than or equal to, and you want to graph this on a number line, we're going to use a dot, and it goes on until infinity. So that's what we're going to implement here. We're going to use our dot over here, because it's 3, and then we're going to indicate that this can go on until infinity, towards the negative side, because it's less than or equal to 3. If this were just less than, then it would have to be from 2.9 and then less. But since we're doing less than or equal to, it can be 3 or anything below. That's the value of x. So now we're going to do our second example, which is going to be a little more complex, because if we're learning algebra, that's not the easiest equation you'll ever find. Our next equation is x plus 6 is greater than 7. So now what we can do is that instead of 2 mathematical expressions, we have 3. And that's a little confusing because we don't know how to solve it. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 6 on both sides to get rid of the other variable. So it's going to be 7 minus 6 on this side and plus 6 minus 6. So this is canceled out, which just makes it x is greater than 1, which is very easy to graph. So we're just going to do 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, right? So it is greater than 1. And since we have less than or greater than, we're using a dot to represent this, right? So we're going to be doing 1. So we're going to circle the 1. And since it is going greater than 1, we're going to show this as this is going greater, right? So that is our second example on how to solve an inequality, right? And now let's erase this and head on with our third and final example of the day. So now this is going to be a much more complex inequality, which you will generally find in Algebra 2. -2, 4 plus x, which is less than or equal to 4, right? Now this, it's going to look complex, but we're going to use the distributive property to multiply to these two numbers. So it's going to be -8 minus 2x, which is less than or equal to 4, right? So now to get rid of there's three expressions. So we're going to get rid of the -8 because we don't need that. Minus 2x is less than or equal to 4 plus 8 because we're adding 8, right? So then this is canceled out and it's just -2x, which is less than or equal to 12. So now it's getting a little confusion here because so then what we're now going to do is that we're going to divide 2 on each side. So it's basically -2x divided by -2 is less than or equal to 12 divided by 2. Sorry, this is not a minus. And this is going to be -x, which is less than or equal to 6. Now you might be thinking that this is over. We have the answer. But we still have this minus over here. So what are we going to do with it? We're going to multiply it by a negative sign on each side. So it's -6, and then it's -6. But now you might be thinking, why not adding the comparison here? Because whenever we're multiplying by a minus, the rules are that the sign switches. So instead of doing less than or equal to, now it's greater than or equal to. So now this is just going to be simply x is greater than or equal to -6. So now we don't have any room for my number line, so I'm just going to erase this. And I know we have x is greater than or equal to minus 6. So now we're going to graph this on a number line. It's going to be fairly big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. It's not perfect, but it's okay. So we know that it's greater than or equal to negative 6. So whenever we have a less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, we always have a solid dot. So we're going to do a solid dot on the negative 6 right here. And since it's going greater than negative 6, we're going to indicate that this variable is going greater and greater. So that's officially the last example we have for today. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe and follow for more videos. Bye!